You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports 2 supporters, we're going to talk about the Patriots. We're going to get to Mac Jones in a minute, but first we're going to touch on Marv Levy. Now, I'm old enough to remember how good Marv Levy was as a head coach in the NFL. Plenty good enough, okay? As far as me remembering, he was an all-time great head coach in the National Football League. He never won a Super Bowl, but for anybody to be able to coach a team to 4 consecutive AFC championships and 4 consecutive Super Bowls, and I don't care if the guy didn't win one, it is an unbelievable feat to have taken one team 4 seasons in a row to the Super Bowl. It's something we've talked about a lot between myself and John, how good that Buffalo Bills team was. They were an all-time great team. And it's crazy to think they never got rings. Well, years ago, Bill Belichick made a comment about Marv Levy and about the fact that he would not be coaching into his 70s like Marv Levy. Now, here we are. He's coaching into his 70s. Many people feel like the NFL game has passed Bill by. This season's a train wreck. I mean, there's still minute speculation that he could be fired after this Colts game. I don't think he will. I think he'll be let go after the season, but I do think that's where this is headed, is a divorce, right? And Marv Levy's wife, and I did not realize this, Marv Levy is still alive. He's 98 years old now. Well, his wife, as you could expect, has come out, and she's crushed Bill Belichick. She absolutely crushed him because of his little comment towards Marv, and obviously she loves her husband, and she's going to be biased to her husband, and I get it. But it's clear she hasn't forgot Bill Belichick's little crack about Marv Levy's age and how long he was coaching. I mean, he coached the Bills from 86 through 97 with 4 AFC championship games in there. Let me just show it to you very quickly. And look at these seasons, folks. 12-4, 13-3, 13-3, 11-5, 12-4, 95 and 96, 10-6, 10-6. I mean, his last season at 72, he was 6-10. And look, I kind of doubt Bill Belichick's winning 6 games this year. Marv Levy was 255 and 143. And never mind the fact he won 2 Grey Cups in the CFL. I mean, just all around, Marv Levy was an unbelievable football coach. Well, his wife has crushed Belichick here. It's pretty wild. Fran Levy, the wife of former Buffalo Bills head coach Marv Levy, this is Nesson, isn't a fan of Patriots head coach Bill Belichick. That's a weird sentence, but they'll explain why, and I'll explain it to you. Belichick, who is coaching in his 24th season with the Patriots, has been tied to Levy for more than half of his tenure in New England. The 71-year-old famously said, quote, "I won't be like Marv Levy and coach in my 70s," when he was a spry 57 in 2009. And of course, Belichick has not lived up to his word. That, plus the fact that Belichick defeated Levy in a Super Bowl as defensive coordinator for the Giants, doesn't sit well with Fran Levy. These old school names, Fran. Quote, "I think he should retire. I can't stand him. He's a cheater and he was rude to Marv." Fran Levy told Dan Shaughnessy of the Boston Globe on Friday, "Bill Belichick was always jealous of Marv. He's a mean person and I hope he never wins again." Wow. Oh, you gotta love elderly folks. "I'll fight for my husband. I hope I wasn't too crazy, but that's how I feel. I wear my heart on my sleeve." Wow. Wow. Strong words. Strong words. And feeling don't seem to be, those strong words and the feeling don't seem to be held by her husband, Marv, who made sure everybody knew they weren't coming from him. He said, quote, "Don't quote me on that." Marv Levy told Shaughnessy, "I'm not saying that. I'm going to have Fran run some extra wind sprints for saying that." That's so good. It's been a tough year for Belichick, both personally and professionally. The 6-time Super Bowl winner reportedly ended things with his longtime girlfriend, Linda Holiday, over the summer, while New England is off to its worst start, 2-7 since his first season at the helm. Belichick's job doesn't seem to be secure at all either, with reports stating a loss to the Colts in Week 10 could be the end of his tenure. I just don't think that's happening, folks. I think Robert Kraft, Mr. Kraft, is going to wait till after the season, and this is going to be played as some kind of mutual parting of the ways situation. Now, one of their biggest problems a lot of people can point to, and look, I've been the biggest Mac Jones supporter in the world. I have. Ever since he came out of Alabama, I said, you know what? Mac Jones is going to be a really good NFL quarterback. He's probably going to be a starter for 10 to 15 years. But I'm starting to look like I am just flat wrong. And Colin Cowherd came out and broke a story that we'll get to in a second that is, I got to tell you, if it's true, boy, it's a really bad look. Now, I got to point the fact out that I don't quite understand the story considering he played at Alabama, but still, nonetheless, we'll talk about it. According to Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer, the 2-7 Patriots have been underwhelmed with Jones's decisions, both before and after the snap. We're talking about a decision-making problem. Quote, "One thing that really infuriated people in the building is his decision-making," Breer said on Wednesday. "They've been sold on this smart, efficient, game-managing quarterback, and they're not getting it." Breer explained that New England's coaching staff has grown frustrated by Jones ignoring open receivers, audibly into screenplays that would have been blown up by the defense, and checking out of pass plays where he had an open target and instead opting for run plays with minimal gains. That's very interesting because why in the world would a quarterback ever opt into a run play? I mean, you know, if the defense blatantly is letting you have the run, you're going to take it, okay? That's smart. But if they're not blatantly giving it to you and there ends up being an open target, then you made a really bad decision. And that's kind of weird. It sounds like he's almost somewhat reluctant to throw the ball. Because at this point, when he throws the ball, something bad happens. I mean, it's where we are. Jones has completed 64.8% of his passes, 1,861 yards, 10 TDs. It's the 9 interceptions that is just baffling. You know, I mean, those stats are pretty good if he had like 10 touchdowns, 3 picks, but he's got 9, and they've been really bad. So that takes us over to this Cowherd report, which is crazy. And this played off of the Albert Breer thing, okay? Bert Breer came on and said those comments the other day, and then Cowherd followed this up. Breer's report wasn't news to Colin Cowherd, who heard similar rumblings for Jones for quite a while. And Colin's been a Mac guy. And a few weeks ago, he even got off the train. Quote, "Let me give you some inside sourcing," Cowherd said on Thursday on FS1's The Herd. Quote, "There have been frustrations for over a year that he doesn't take to coaching, and especially doesn't take to hard coaching. Brady took to hard coaching. Cam Newton, when he came in the building, was willing to be hard coach. I have been told for over a year now Jones has lost some players in the room, the coaching staff. He's bratty. He does not take to hard coaching. Quote, well, that's what Belichick does. And generally what stars do. They like to be hard coached. Yeah, even Patrick Mahomes is hard coached. And that's a real problem. So when Albert Breer says that about coaching, that's what I've heard. I've heard it over and over. Now Breer is saying there's real frustration in the building. They can't get after him. So in other words, they're saying that I guess he's not even willing to be coached on a hard level. Now, I'm going to tell you what's so strange about this. One of the feelings coming out of Alabama was that Mac, well, was going to be perfect for New England. Why? McDaniels was going to coach him hard. Belichick was going to coach him hard. And who did he play for in college? He played for Nick Saban, the hardest-ass college coach in existence. I mean, he's an old-school hard-ass, the biggest branch off the Belichick tree is Nick Saban. So it's one of the strangest things to hear, but it's hard to dispute it because of the way this has gone and the way this has turned out. And some of his actions where he just seems like he's disgruntled and almost acting like a pissed off teenager on the sideline. And you hear little things in the media when he's talking where he's throwing a little shade here and a little shade there. Let me throw some shade at coaching. Let me throw some shade at players, which I think is horse shit too. Sorry, you're the quarterback. It's all on you. I don't know how else to say it. Now, I gave it no doubt. They got no weapons. They got no offensive line. And I think in the right place, in the right system, Mac Jones can still be a good starter. But I do think whatever's happened in New England, I don't know what it is, but I think they're done with Mac. I think they really did try to trade him. That's what I'm starting to think. And now, I think Robert Kraft, Mr. Kraft, is a huge Mac guy. And I think Robert, to a point, remembers picking Bill over Tom, and I think he's going to pick Mac over Bill this time. I think he's going to give another coach a chance to save Mac Jones. They like Mac a lot in ownership. So that's something to think about. I don't know what's going to happen there, but that's very interesting that he's not willing to take hard coaching. Now, at the same time, he may have pushed back on Patricia and Judge, and they're not offensive guys. And if they're sitting there trying to hard coach Mac, and he's like, I know 100 times more about offensive football than you two do. And if it's my understanding he would ask them questions back about the offense, and they couldn't answer the questions that Mac Jones had. It was the same kind of questions he could present to Josh McDaniels and get an answer. And get an answer back. And evidently he can get an answer back to a point from Bill O'Brien, but it's just a train wreck. There's no separation. I mean, I saw their separation on wide receivers the other day, and I was like, God, that's pathetic. You know, I mean, it was awful. Receivers can't get open. He is getting better protection, but I think a clean divorce between everybody might be the best thing. I don't know. It's a bad look. I know that. Mac Jones looks worse and worse and worse. So, tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.